The gentleman from Henrico, Mr. Morrissey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to speak to the amendment. Mr.
Gentleman.
Speaker, this amendment removes the proposed acceleration of semiconductor grant payments to a company called Qimonda. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the House, I'm fully aware that these are very difficult times. I'm not asking in this particular amendment to find money for this particular program, no matter how laudable. I'm asking you to reject the amendment for the following reason. All we're doing in this amendment is accelerating the payments. This particular plant, Qimonda, is in eastern Henrico County, a county that's represented by my colleagues Delegate Pease, Delegate Ingram, and others. They manufacture chips, 200 millimeter chips and 300 millimeter chips. It's an ultra-competitive business, and this plant that produces 200 millimeter chips is the only plant left in Bike that manufactures those disc chips in the country. Qimonda does not have any other plants that manufacture that size. Let me tell you a little bit about Qimonda, and I'll be brief, but I think it's important that you realize this. When Qimonda came into the Commonwealth, they announced that they would invest $2.1 billion. They invested $3.2 billion. Qimonda said that they would invest in 2,500 jobs. They invested in 2,700 jobs. What Qimonda is asking so that they don't lose this business is that we accelerate the payments. Move it up one biennium. We already owe the money to Qimonda, we're just accelerating it. Now, what we're asking to do is this. $5.4 million is owed in fiscal year 2011 by the Commonwealth in these grant payments. We're simply asking to move it up to 2009. $8.4 million is owed in 2012. We're simply asking to move it up to 2010. That's all this company is asking, a company that employs 2,700 people in our district. Now, without this acceleration of payment, this is what might happen. The fear is that this 200 millimeter portion of the plant may close. If it happens, over 1,000 jobs may go with it. The last thing that I want to emphasize is the following. Qimonda has generated $192 million in tax revenue in the last 10 years. Let me repeat that. In the last decade, $192 million in tax revenue has been generated. In the next 5 years, they're expecting to generate $182 million in revenue. We're not giving them any additional money out of our very narrow and tight purse strings. We're accelerating it. Accordingly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you to vote no to this amendment that simply removes this proposed acceleration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from Colonial Heights, Mr. Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It would be a pleasure of the House to accept the amendment. Basically, what this does is it cancels the acceleration. Let me remind the body that retained in the budget is $20.5 million in total semiconductor manufacturing incentive grants, all but $3.7 million of which is being paid to Qimonda. We are going exactly along with the code mandated schedule. And the problem if we do this is you've got SRI who wants acceleration coming up later on. And if you do this for Qimonda, you're going to be expected to do this for about every entity that comes up. And that's going to be extremely problematic. We're doing exactly what the code asks us to do. I met with the representatives of Qimonda who were very clear with me that they would love to have this, but they're here in Virginia to stay. So I hope for those reasons, Mr. Speaker, that we'll accept the amendment.